So in this video, what we are going to learn is about Flynn's taxonomy or the different classes of parallel computing. So yesterday's video, we have talked about introduction to parallel processing. What is mean by parallel processors? We have also seen the different classes of parallel processing. We have also seen what are the advantages and disadvantages of parallel processing. So today our focus will be on the Flynn's taxonomy and the John von Neumann architecture. So let us start. Uh, so there are some of the terminologies which we need to know before starting. So what is mean by a task? So a task is nothing but a program or a set of instructions which are executed by the processor. Then there comes a parallel task. What is mean by parallel task? That a task which can be executed by a multiple processors. Then there is a serial execution. What is mean by serial execution? That one by one the instruction will be executed in a serial manner. That is called as a serial execution. Then there is a parallel execution. What is mean by parallel execution? Yesterday also we have talked that one or more tasks can be executed parallelly. So that is called as a parallel execution. Then there is a shared memory. Yesterday also we have seen that there are multiple processors uh, in parallel processing, so they need to exchange the data in between them. So for that there is a shared memory concept. So that memory is being shared by all the processors and they are able to perform the task. Similar to that, there is also a distributed memory. What is mean by distributed? That it will be located at different places, and by using the internet, by using the connection networks or LAN or WAN, we are able to access the memory, and that is nothing but a distributed memory. Communications, yes. So whenever there is an exchange of data between the processors, we need to have communication. So uh, either we can do the communication by using a shared memory, either we can do the communication by using a bus or over a particular network such as LAN or WAN. So like this, the communication will take place between multiple processors. Then there is a synchronization. Synchronization is nothing but the coordination of parallel tasks in real time. So they should be performed in synchronization so that the proper output is generated. So that is one of the terminology. Then there comes a granularity. So what is mean by granularity in parallel computing? Granularity is a qualitative measure of the ratio of computation to communication. So by using the granularity, we are able to measure the performance of the parallel processors. So either there are two types you are able to see in the PPT. Uh, there is a coarse granularity or a fine granularity. What is mean by coarse? Coarse means large amount of computational work can be done between the communication events. So more amount of work can be done. So that is called as a coarse granularity. Whereas fine granularity means what? Small amount of computational work will be done between the communication events. So there are these two types of granularities, coarse and fine. There is one more way how we are able to see the parallel processors performance is by observing the speed up. So either we are taking a wall clock time or a wall clock time of a parallel execution. So those can be used for measuring the performance of parallel processors. Our today's focus is on von Neumann architecture. So if you remember, in our institute also we are having a John von Neumann hall. We have been there. He is a particular mathematician, Hungarian mathematician, John von Neumann, and he has given actually the common machine model known as the von Neumann computer. So what is a von Neumann computer? So a von Neumann computer uses the stored program concept. Means the program will be stored in the memory. The CPU will execute a stored program that specifies a sequence of read and write operations on the memory. So here, von Neumann has given us the model of stored program. So in the diagram, you are able to see that you are having a memory and you are having a CPU. Memory is storing both the things, program as well as your data instructions. So your program is also there and data is also there. See, these program instructions are coded data which will tell computer to do something. Means our program is telling the CPU what need to be done, and the data is nothing but an information which is used by the program. And CPU generally does what? CPU will fetch the program as well as the data from the memory and execute the particular program, and then return that result back to the memory. So that is nothing but your von Neumann architecture. It is the most simple architecture and which is being used for 40 years now. Then there comes a Flynn's classical taxonomy. What is mean by Flynn's classical taxonomy? So there are various ways to classify the parallel computers. One of the most widely used classification is Flynn's taxonomy, which is we are using from 1966. And this Flynn's taxonomy is distinguishing the multiprocessor computer architecture based on two dimensions. One dimension is called as an instruction and second dimension is called as a data. So there are two dimensions that we are going to learn, instruction and data. And each of these two dimensions either can have the value as single or multiple. So look at the particular matrix. So this particular matrix defines the four classification according to the Flynn. These are really easy. If you just read it, you will get it. So first one is SISD, that is single instruction, single data. So we just said that Flynn's has given us two dimension. One is the instruction and second one is the data. So first one is single instruction, single data. The second one is single instruction, multiple data. Next one is multiple instruction, single data. And last one is multiple instruction and multiple data. So what we have done, we have used this single and multiple along with the instruction and data. And there are four classifications we are able to see: SISD, SIMD, MISD, and MIMD. And the long forms are really easy. So what is single instruction and single data? So in the diagram, you are able to see that single instruction, single data means it is nothing but a serial computer. So we are having only single instruction, which is executed by the CPU in one clock cycle, and only single data will be used over there. So automatically, as per the diagram, there will be a serial execution of all the instructions. So load A, load B, then C is equal to A plus B, and so on. So there is no parallel execution we are able to perform by using single instruction and single data. And this is the oldest and until recently the most prevalent form of computer. So generally our PCs, single CPU workstation and mainframes are nothing but using the SISD concept. Then comes single instruction, multiple data. Short form is SIMD. So automatically you are able to see here multiple data is there. So automatically it becomes a type of a parallel computer. So yes, we are able to execute only single instruction, but multiple data can be provided to the single instruction. So automatically it becomes a parallel computer. And generally it has a dispatcher, a very high bandwidth internal network, and a very large area of very small capacity instruction units. Let us see the example. So here you are able to see that we are having P1, P2, and Pn processors. You are able to see that all the instructions at a particular time, the same instruction is executed on each of the processor. So load A Here also load A is executed. Here also load A is executed. But what is the change? Change is that the data is different. That is why it is called as a single instruction multiple data. So here load A1 is being executed. Here load A2 is being executed. Here load AN, means the data is changing in this single instruction multiple data. So that is a certain kind of a parallel computer. So where these are being used, so generally single instruction multiple data are used for image processing, or you can use it for synchronous and deterministic execution. There are generally two varieties of processors which are coming under single instruction and multiple data. Those are called as a processor arrays and vector pipelines. And the examples, actually this is becoming extinct, single instruction and multiple data. So previously we were having machines like CM2, then there was a Maspar MP1, Maspar MP2. We were having vector pipelines in IBM 9000, the Cray C90, Fujitsu VP, Hitachi S820. So these kind of a processes were used, of course, but those are now becoming extinct. Uh, so let us see next one. Next comes the multiple instruction and single data. Now multiple instruction means, now from the previous figures you are able to imagine that here I can execute the multiple instruction, but the data will be common. But this kind of a computer, parallel computers, are very few. Generally it is not being used because we don't need multiple instruction and a single data kind of a behavior in our computers. So those are not mostly used. Some examples are still shown in the PPT. You are able to see multiple frequency filters operating on a single stream, then multiple cryptography algorithms uh, uh, are using these kind of a multiple instruction single data. But generally in day-to-day life, this kind of a MISD is not used. And the last and most important is multiple instruction and multiple data, that is MIMD. So now currently we all people are using this kind of a parallel computers. So here I can execute multiple instructions with multiple data also. Yes. So of course that is being used today and we are able to do these things. So execution here can be synchronous or asynchronous, or it can be also deterministic or non-deterministic. Deterministic. So examples are all the supercomputers we know today are using this MIMD concept. Then your network parallel computer grids, then your multiprocessor SMP. Yesterday also we have seen about SMP, that is symmetric multiprocessors, and we have also seen massively parallel computers. So all those are including these MIMD concept, that is multiple instruction and multiple data. So here you are able to see the diagram. So here again you are having different you are able to see at a particular time, again you are having P1 P2 up to Pn processors. Here the load A instruction is given. At the same time on P2 we are having call function D. At the same time on Pn we are having do 10 I is equal to 1 comma n. So what we are doing over here, parallelly we are having multiple instructions which are executed on multiple processors with multiple data. So that is the most important thing, and this is nothing but MIMD. These are some commonly seen diagrams. You can find these on many of the books. So all those things we have just shown by using the input output unit. Here is your control unit and memory. So this is what the diagram of SISD. This is of SIMD, single instruction multiple data. This is MISD, that is multiple instruction and single data. And this is nothing but your MIMD, that is multiple instruction and multiple data. Again, you are able to see that there are multiple memories multiple control units, and there is an interconnection network. So how this was being developed? Uh, so first, we have seen that there was a scalar uh, processors. Then it came to look ahead. Then functional parallelism, pipeline, then register to register, and today we are having these SIMD and MIMD processors where we are able to do the parallel computing. So hopefully you have understood this concept of Flynn's taxonomy. So thank you for watching.